Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Junix.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
Good morning.
Looking great. Good morning, Tundu Abiola.
Good morning, OJ.
You look like Naomi Campbell.
Ooh.
Or maybe she looks like you. Good morning, Rufai. We missed you yesterday.
Goddess in blue.
Thank you, sir. Morning show blue.
Just by way of information, this color is called Old Nine.
Well, thank you very much. You're doing well.
So that you remember.
You're doing well. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, Minnesota's congressional delegation on Monday announced that it is introducing a resolution to posthumously award the Congressional Gold Medal to pop superstar Prince, citing his indelible mark on Minnesota and American culture. The medal is one of the nation's highest civilian honors. In France, 26 looted colonial-era artifacts are set to go on display for the last time at Musée du Quai Branly, Jacques Chirac, from today, October 26th through the 31st. The art collection, known as the Abomey Treasures, which were pilfered by the French army 129 years ago, will be returned to Benin after the exhibition, a decision authorities in Nigeria have described as historic. In Japan, Princess Mako, the granddaughter of the country's former emperor, Akihito, has officially left the imperial household and is now a commoner. She married her former college classmate, Komoro Kei, today, October 26th, after years of controversy. In Iran, social media is abuzz after an angry man slapped Brigadier General Abedin Khorram, the new governor of a northwestern Iranian province, during his inauguration on October 23rd, in an unusual breach of security. The new governor had taken the podium in the provincial capital of Tabriz when the man strode out from offstage and immediately swung at the governor. Under sports, Ime Udoka, former captain of Nigeria's national men's basketball team, is making waves on social media after he secured his first win as a head coach in the NBA for leading the Boston Celtics to their maiden win of the ongoing season. Over the weekend, the Celtics defeated the Rockets 107-97 in Houston. Finally, under entertainment, Netflix is set to dramatize Princess Diana's bombshell panorama interview with journalist Martin Bashir in the 5th season of The Crown. The episode will focus on the section of the controversial sit-down interview when Diana sensationally said, "There were 3 of us in the marriage," a reference to Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla.
Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Let's begin what's trending with a comment made by Islamic Cleric Sheikh Gumi, who has condemned the push to designate bandits as terrorists. The Sheikh on Monday wrote a post on his Facebook page titled "Declaring bandits as terrorists will come with a price." He said if President Muhammadu Buhari declares bandits as terrorists, it will mark the end of Nigeria as a sovereign and united entity. Well, according to him, once bandits are designated as terrorists, the direct foreign jihadist movements will come into force and give criminality a spiritual cover and remove the stigma of discrediting them with such crimes. Well, his comment has generated divergent views from many Nigerians. Let's take some tweets. This tweet is from Derry, who wrote, "Gumi just threatened the existence of Nigeria with terrorism, but this is not a one-off or a coincidence. He has unequivocally made his position known as the leader of terrorism, codenamed banditry. This just made mockery of terrorism charges against Sunday Igboho." While Yusuf wrote, "Chimetala Agu simply wore a jalabiya with Biafra symbol. He was ridiculed and tossed across various security agencies like Akara. Today, Gumi is telling the world that Nigeria will be destroyed if his client bandits are proscribed as terrorists." While author and activist Reno Omakri wrote, "Sheikh Gumi never speaks for the victims, but when terrorist bandits are affected, he speaks. How long shall a government That is after Igboho and Kano continue tolerating the PR work Gumi is doing for terrorist bandits. Gumi is an inspiration to these terrorists. I mean, I think that Reno Omokori's tweet hit the point right there, Tundu.
I think it really did, yes. Not only does Sheikh Gumi never speak for the victims, he actually referred to them in a manner that I find offensive and reprehensible. He made the point that talking about who's really innocent here and then society doesn't have the moral high ground, basically saying, you know, I hate victim blaming in any form that it takes. But he's basically saying the activities of the bandits is just desserts. Serves you right, Nigerians. This is what you get. That is reprehensible. Absolutely. I must stress. Now, to the other point that he made, it makes no sense, frankly. Terrorist organizations do not wait to be invited to the party. If they want to hijack the bandits and take them over and give them finance, give them training, they would do so.
Absolutely.
Look at how IMN was proscribed by the Nigerian government. Hezbollah, well, according to some, America, for instance, has been proscribed as a terrorist organization. Did Hezbollah rush to IMN to adopt them? No. So it doesn't always follow in that way. They have the same religious orientation even. It doesn't always follow. A terrorist organization can hijack the bandits without them being proscribed. It's all about them being a means to an end. It's got nothing to do with proscription. We'll now give them carte blanche to now come in. That point is completely nonsensical, frankly. So apart from being offensive, he didn't even make sense.
Absolutely.
So I really wonder what the point of what he was saying was.
Rufai, I thought his comments were inflammatory at a point where everyone is calling for the bandits to be, designated as terrorists. I mean, I thought it was just the wrong time for him to even say this.
You see, when somebody does not have logic in his thinking, he becomes stupid. Try to pick out the logic in that statement. All I see is there is a logical statement. Very, very sad. Are the bandits or the terrorists not getting foreign support already in this country? Did we not hear the day President Bolaji Akemi talked about reports of helicopters dropping by and bringing weaponry to these bandits or terrorists? Did we not hear of the sophisticated weapons they have? How did they get that? Do they make anti-aircraft guns in Nigeria? Somebody must have given those guns to them. Did we not hear how Recep Tayyip Erdogan talked about Turkish groups being here? Did we not see stories of international affiliations with ISWAP already? He has nothing to say. He has nothing to say. That's why he can't make sense of what he's saying. Like Tundu said, for baseless arguments.
But why is the government treating Sheikh Gumi with gloves? I mean, at this point,
this
guy has been
If anything, it's going to encourage terrorist organizations.
Yes,
it will be that kid gloves treatment. Yes.
And we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. I keep repeating. Because you are having people like Sheikh Gumi being advocates for disintegration of the country, and you are allowing them walk free. In a country where we have to bring people together, and at the same time you are arresting the likes of Igboho, you are proscribing IPOB. But people are saying this, and you can't call them to order.
Absolutely
Please, if we want to build Nigeria, we have to collectively do it. This statement is wrong.
Absolutely.
If there's anything called the height of hate speech, this is the height of hate speech.
Absolutely. Welcome back to the morning show. We're still on What's Trending. Dr. Abati, before we went on a break, we were discussing Sheikh Ahmad Gumi.
Okay, under normal circumstances, in a country that is focused and monitoring processes closely, a person like Dr. Sheikh Gumi, would have been invited by the security agencies. The various security agencies by now will be engaging to find out what is it that he knows that other Nigerians do not know. And why is he the spokesperson for bandits in the northern part of Nigeria? in that statement that he put on Facebook, he made it clear that, well, nobody should question the fact that, he engages the bandits, that Yoruba leaders, religious leaders can also go and engage Sunday Igboho. And similarly, in the eastern part of the country, people should also go and engage, Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. Now, is that piece in his Facebook page, is it based on the outcome? Is it giving Nigerians a feedback about what is likely to happen? And the kind of feedback that is given is the kind of feedback that is insensitive, that is inflammatory, that is divisive, that talks about the risk of, the possibility of a risk to the sovereign existence of Nigeria. But of course, we don't hear too often that the security agencies are engaging him, even if it is for the purpose of learning and getting information from him. He says, for example, that yes, bandits can be, seen as a terrorist, but that Nigerians should not engage in the controversy of semantics. I'm quoting him directly now. So if he thinks that kinetic operations are necessary as a way of checking terrorism, so what is the problem with what he calls the controversy of semantics? So in other words, I find his position somewhat dishonest. Beyond that, he's saying that if you label bandits terrorists, then you will encourage outsiders, jihadists, global jihadist movements to come to Nigeria and further radicalize these people. And that if religion becomes a major factor in it, in the crisis, then of course what you will find, according to him, is Nigeria disintegrating. Okay, who told him that these global jihadist movements, they are not yet in Nigeria at the moment? And I think that it is just well that many others, the leadership of the church, groups in different parts of the country have condemned Sheikh Gumi. If his objective is to ensure peace in Nigeria, to ensure stability, then of course, whatever information he should be sharing with the security agencies. Then we'll know that he's an agent of peace and that he truly means well. But to put this out in the public domain in a manner that will further deepen tension in the country, I don't think that that is good enough.
Right. I mean, people are asking, which organization will we designate as terrorists? Is it ISWAP, Al-Qaeda? I mean, what is the issue here at this point with Sheikh Gumi?
Why hasn't Facebook taken down that post?
Well,
yes,
I don't know if that's part of their policy.
I don't know what the community rules are in Facebook. But why hasn't Facebook taken down that post?
Well, Facebook may say this is free speech, but it's also the responsibility of the state, the Nigerian state, to protest. Oftentimes, when you protest to those social media platforms, on the basis of the protest that has been entered into, they could pull it down.
Yeah. Why didn't Facebook block the account?
But in any case, we're talking about citizenship responsibility. What he has done is against the grain of Section 2, subsection 3, right, of the Nigerian Constitution. And that's why I said, in case he does not know, and that would be strange for a man who served in the military medical corps.
Absolutely.
The agencies should explain it to him. Yes, you are entitled to free speech, but don't say things that would further divide the country.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've become accustomed to that argument of not being able to designate bandits because they're not organized, they're not a uniform group. So how do you then say, is any kidnapper a terrorist now? How do you then, draw that line? That would have been a more convincing argument than what he has advanced.
No, but he himself admitted that they are terrorists. What he does not want is the label.
Official designation.
Yes. Yes.
So let's know that they're terrorists, but let's be afraid to call them what they are.
Okay, you have put it better.
So where's the logic?
Very weak argument.
So where's the logic in that argument?
The only acceptable argument would have been the difficulty in, drawing that category, because is every kidnapper a terrorist? I could accept that, but not.
But where's the logic in his argument?
No,
so
he says to the extent that they are involved in destruction and killing of persons, they are terrorists. But don't give them the label.
Makes no sense. We'll take another story. Pastor Tunde Bakare, the serving overseer of Citadel Global Community Church, in an interview with our sister publication THISDAY, advised presidential aspirants to negotiate with the northern region of the country in order to attain election victory, According to the pastor, no section of the country can win an election by itself. And as such, collaboration is pertinent because of the way Nigeria is constituted. He added that the North has a way of giving a presidential aspirant the crown while holding the scepter. Tundu Abiola, your take on this conversation.
I like that crown and scepter analogy. I used it earlier with regards to Sudan, with the military pretending to hand over to civilians. They gave them the crown but held on to the scepter. But the way Pastor Tunde Bakare seems to have put it is going to cause a lot of resentment.
Correct.
He's talking as if Southerners need to kowtow to the North. We need to go and beg, cap in hand, oh, please let us have a bite of the cherry. And that's what upsets a lot of people. That exact thinking, that idea is what's behind a lot of calls, not just for self-determination, but for actual secession from this country, because people feel that they don't have ownership of their own country. But later on in that interview with THISDAY, which I read, he sort of seemed to clarify that and talked about how a northern candidate cannot win without the South and a southern candidate cannot win without the North. So both sides need one another. So he was referring to Section 133, I believe it is, about geographical spread in order to win a presidential election. But when you take that comment of the crown and scepter in isolation, it is offensive. And it's also how I feel about Nigeria. When the military said, oh, we're going to transition back to democracy, but your president is going to be a retired general. I keep banging on about it. I'm sorry, that is that crown. Take the crown, but we hold on to the scepter.
Well, what I say, I mean, democracy, in a normal democratic dispensation, election is a game of numbers. I mean, it should just be about the people that come out to vote, not, you know, region by region.
But the numbers, they'll tell you, and the North.
Correct, in the North, but it shouldn't be. Dr. Abati, quickly, your analysis.
Okay, we've had a guest on this program before who was pushing the argument that the North can go alone.
Yes.
And that they have the numbers and, you know, the North does not need the South. But that's not what has happened. If you look at, you know, the various republics that we have had, and specifically from 1999, what the electoral process proves is that at the end of the day, for electoral purposes, we all need each other. You can't find a northerner that will just go alone, or a southerner that will get there and go alone. The other issue is about representation. In other words, for you to be president of Nigeria, the spirit of the Constitution is that you must have votes, you must have support from virtually every part of the country. I think the Constitution talks about you getting substantial votes from at least 2/3, you know, of the federation to show that this is a collective aspiration and will of the people of Nigeria expressed in terms of informed choice. So on that score, you know, Pastor Tunde Bakare was quite correct. And what he was talking about really is about the need for unity, for negotiation, for interdependency, even in spite of the diversity in Nigeria. But the big takeaway for me in that particular interview was the point he was making about constitution. Because the current constitution, the 1999 constitution, it's some form of death certificate, because there are so many issues involved. And he thinks that going forward, that constitution, we need to take a second look at it. And that's consistent with the position of persons who are saying Nigeria needs to be restructured, beginning with a review of the constitution so that it will reflect the will of the people, as stated in the very first paragraph of that particular document. 3, he also made a point about the fact that, look, the Buhari administration, in his own estimation, has not done well, either with regard to politics or the economy or security. You know, and that forthrightness, I think, is commendable, considering the fact that, you know, he was once a running mate to President Muhammadu Buhari. And he concluded by saying that, look, the fact that somebody is his friend does not mean that he cannot criticize the person. And, you know, that's where partisan persons, you know, makes the point. People think, oh, if you belong to APC, anything that the president does, you know, you have to cloak it with the garb of sainthood. And that if you are from another political party, then if you criticize the president or the party, then you are an enemy of the state. You know, here we have a sympathizer, if I may use that phrase, of the ruling party, a friend of persons in the ruling party.
Absolutely.
Who is saying, look, criticism is fair.
Well, all right. A quick comment quickly, because
So quickly,
I think we're done.
I just want to say, please, in this marriage,
Yeah,
no partner is more equal than another.
absolutely.
We are all equal.
Absolutely.
Every region is equal. The North needs the South, just like the South needs the North.
Right.
Please, I pray someday I can put that word and put it on repeat on TV, because the reason we have the problems in this country is that a lot of people don't get the fact that we're all equal.
Well said, Rufai. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.